Before you die, you need to hear this. The truth is, everything you think you know about life is wrong. This isn't some sugar-coated self-help nonsense. This is raw, unfiltered Stoic wisdom. Prepare to have your world turned upside down. People grow in different directions. Their priorities change, their interests diverge, and sometimes they simply outgrow the relationship. Let's be brutally honest. Most of what you believe about happiness, success, and love is a lie. Society has sold you a fantasy, and you've bought it without question. It's time to wake up and face reality. You've been told that happiness is the ultimate goal, that success is measured by wealth and status, and that love will complete you. But these are all illusions, lies designed to keep you chasing a mirage, while the true essence of life slips through your fingers. Look around you. People are more anxious, more depressed, and more disconnected than ever. We are drowning in material wealth, but starving for meaning. We have more ways to communicate, but less genuine connection. We've lost touch with the fundamental truths of existence. Do you really think this is what life is supposed to be? An endless pursuit of fleeting pleasures and hollow achievements? It's time to strip away the illusions and confront the harsh, beautiful truth. These lessons are not for the faint-hearted. They will challenge your deepest beliefs and force you to rethink everything you know. You might hate me for it. You might resist these truths. But if you truly want to live a life of meaning, you need to hear this. Brace yourself. This is going to be uncomfortable. But discomfort is the first step toward growth. Open your mind and let the journey begin. Lesson number 1. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Embrace discomfort. Growth happens only when you step out of your comfort zone. Comfort breeds complacency. Let's talk about comfort. You've been told that comfort is the ultimate goal, that a life free from stress and challenge is the ideal. But here's the brutal truth. Your comfort zone is your coffin. It's where dreams go to die. It's where potential is buried alive. Think about it. How many times have you settled for a mediocre job because it was safe? How many relationships have you stayed in because they were familiar, even though they were toxic? How often do you choose the easy path because the hard one scares you? Comfort is seductive. It whispers sweet lies, telling you that you've earned the right to take it easy, to avoid risk, to play it safe. But what it doesn't tell you is that it's also robbing you of growth, of progress, of life itself. When you avoid discomfort, you avoid the very experiences that shape you, that build resilience, that reveal who you truly are. Look at the people who inspire you: athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, adventurers. Do you think they got to where they are by staying comfortable? Hell no! They pushed their limits. They embraced failure. They stepped into the unknown again and again. Comfort is a lie. It's the slow poison that kills ambition. It's the prison that keeps you from reaching your true potential. If you want to live a life of meaning, a life that matters, you must be willing to be uncomfortable. You must be willing to take risks, to face failure, to endure pain. Start small. Take cold showers, speak up in meetings, approach that person you've been admiring from afar. Challenge yourself to learn a new skill, travel alone, do something every day that scares you, that pushes you beyond what you thought you were capable of. Remember, growth begins where your comfort zone ends. Each step out of your comfort zone is a step toward your true self. It's a step toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. Let me share something personal. Years ago, I was stuck in a dead-end job. It paid well, it was easy, but I felt like my soul was slowly being suffocated. I dreaded each day, but I stayed because it was comfortable. One day, I decided enough was enough. I quit, without a plan, without security. It was terrifying, But that discomfort pushed me to discover my true passions. I struggled, I failed, but each failure taught me resilience. Each struggle shaped me. It was only by stepping out of that comfort zone that I found a life worth living. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Break free and start living. Remember this: the most profound growth in life often comes from the moments that challenge us the most. It is in those moments of discomfort that we find our true strength, our deepest wisdom, and our most authentic selves. Don't let the fear of discomfort rob you of the life you deserve. Lesson number 2. Expectation is the root of misery. Lower your expectations of others and yourself. High expectations lead to disappointment and suffering. Let's talk about expectations. We all have them. We expect our friends to always be there for us, our careers to soar, our relationships to fulfill us. We expect life to go according to our plan. But here's the harsh reality: expectation is the root of misery. Think about the last time you were truly disappointed. Chances are it stemmed from an unmet expectation. You expected something or someone to be a certain way, and when reality didn't match up, you felt hurt, angry, and disillusioned. Expectations set us up for failure because they create a gap between reality and our desires. This gap is where misery lives. When we cling to high expectations, we set ourselves up for a cycle of constant disappointment and frustration. The world owes us nothing, and the sooner we accept this, the sooner we can find peace. I learned this the hard way. For years, I expected my career to follow a certain trajectory. I had dreams and ambitions, and I worked tirelessly to achieve them. But life had other plans. Promotions didn't come. Opportunities slipped away. And I was left feeling bitter and defeated. It wasn't until I let go of my rigid expectations that I found true contentment. I learned to appreciate the journey rather than fixate on the destination. By lowering my expectations, I opened myself up to the beauty of what is, rather than lamenting what could have been. If you liked our video, like, subscribe, and comment so that YouTube knows that this type of content helps people like you, and we can continue creating more similar videos in the future. If you don't know what to comment, simply write "Silence is power" to show that you have surpassed our session. Lesson number 3. Friends are not forever. Accept that friendships, like all things, are impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, and that's okay. Let's face a difficult truth. Friends are not forever. You've been told that friendships are eternal, that true friends stick by you through thick and thin. But here's the reality. Friendships, like all things, are impermanent. People change, circumstances shift, and that's okay. Think back to your childhood friends, your high school buddies, or even your college mates. How many of them are still a part of your life? The reality is, as we grow and evolve, so do our relationships. This isn't necessarily a bad thing, it's just a part of life. We often place immense pressure on ourselves and our friends to maintain the same level of closeness throughout our lives. But this expectation is unrealistic and can lead to unnecessary heartache. People grow in different directions. Their priorities change, their interests diverge, and sometimes they simply outgrow the relationship. I remember my best friend from college. We were inseparable, sharing dreams, fears, and countless late-night conversations. But as we entered the working world, our paths diverged. He moved to a different city, got married, and our lives became different stories. At first, I felt a deep sense of loss, as if a part of me was missing, but over time I realized that our friendship had served its purpose. It was beautiful while it lasted, and its end didn't diminish its value. So how do we deal with the impermanence of friendships? Start by cherishing the moments you have with your friends now. Appreciate the connection, the laughter, and the shared experiences. Understand that it's natural for relationships to change and evolve. When a friendship fades, don't see it as a failure. Instead, recognize it as a chapter that has ended, making way for new connections and experiences. Focus on quality over quantity. It's better to have a few deep, meaningful relationships than to spread yourself thin trying to maintain many. And most importantly, be your own best friend. Cultivate a relationship with yourself that is nurturing and supportive, because you are the only constant in your life. Friends are not forever, and that's okay. Embrace the impermanence, celebrate the times you've had, and be open to new connections. Life is a series of comings and goings, and each person you meet adds to your journey. Remember this: friendships, like all things in life, are transient. They come into your life to teach you, to grow with you, and sometimes to part ways. By accepting this truth, you free yourself from the pain of clinging and open your heart to the beauty of each moment, each connection. Let go and let life flow. Lesson number 4: sacrifice is essential. Nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. You must give up something valuable to achieve your goals. Let's talk about sacrifice. In a world that constantly tells you to prioritize your comfort and convenience, the idea of sacrifice might seem outdated. But here's the hard truth: nothing worth having comes without sacrifice. You must give up something valuable to achieve your goals. Think about the most meaningful achievements in your life. Did they come easily, or did they require you to make tough choices, to give up something you cherished? The reality is that sacrifice is the price of greatness. It's the currency with which we purchase our dreams. Sacrifice is not just about giving up something, it's about making a conscious decision to prioritize what truly matters. It's about saying no to distractions, to fleeting pleasures, to the easy path, in order to pursue something greater. Consider this: how often do we sacrifice our long-term goals for short-term comfort? We skip the gym to watch TV. We spend money on things we don't need instead of saving for our future. We waste time scrolling through social media instead of working on our passions. These small, seemingly insignificant choices add up. These small, seemingly insignificant choices accumulate over time and create a life of mediocrity. But when you embrace sacrifice, when you consciously choose to give up immediate gratification for long-term growth, you unlock the door to true success. Think about the people who inspire you: athletes who sacrifice their weekends for training, entrepreneurs who sacrifice financial security to build something meaningful, artists who sacrifice sleep and comfort to perfect their craft. Sacrifice is what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. It's what takes you from good to great. But here's the thing: sacrifice is not just about giving up. It's about choosing. Choosing what matters most to you. You can't have it all, and the sooner you accept this, the sooner you can focus on what truly matters. Do you want a thriving career, a healthy body, meaningful relationships? Then be prepared to sacrifice. You may have to sacrifice leisure time, bad habits, or even relationships that no longer serve you. Let me share a personal story. There was a time in my life when I wanted to be successful in my career while also maintaining a busy social life. I was trying to do it all, but I quickly realized that I was spreading myself too thin. My work was suffering, my health was declining, and my relationships felt shallow. I had to make a choice. I decided to sacrifice the constant need for social validation and cut back on my distractions. It was tough, but it was also the best decision I ever made. I became more focused, more productive, and more fulfilled. Sacrifice is essential. You can't achieve greatness without giving up something in return. Ask yourself, what are you willing to sacrifice to reach your goals? What distractions, habits, or comforts are holding you back? And remember, The pain of sacrifice is temporary, but the rewards are lasting. Lesson number 5. You are going to die. This is the most important lesson of all. You will die, and you have no idea when. Every moment you waste is a moment you'll never get back. Let's talk about death. Most people avoid this topic because it's uncomfortable, but if you want to live fully, you need to confront the reality of your mortality. Here's the harsh truth. You are going to die, and you have no idea when. It could be tomorrow, next year, or decades from now. But one thing is certain, your time is limited. Every moment you waste is a moment you'll never get back. Death is the great equalizer, the one thing we all share. Yet, most of us live as if we have all the time in the world. We procrastinate, we put off our dreams, we live cautiously, waiting for the right time to take action. But the right time is now. Consider this. If you knew you had only a year left to live, how would your life change? Would you continue to waste time on things that don't matter? Scrolling through social media, worrying about what others think, staying in a job you hate? Or would you start living with intention, focusing on what truly matters, taking risks, and cherishing each moment? The reality of death is not something to fear, it's something to embrace. It's a reminder that life is fleeting and precious. It's a call to action, to stop wasting time on trivialities and start living with purpose. I used to live in fear of death, constantly worrying about what would happen when my time came. But then I realized something. Death is inevitable. I can't control when it happens, but I can control how I live until it does. This shift in perspective was liberating. I stopped waiting for life to happen and started creating the life I wanted. I became more present, more grateful, and more willing to take risks. So here's the truth. You are going to die, and that's a gift. It's a reminder that every second counts. Don't waste another moment. Live boldly, love fiercely, and pursue your passions with all your heart. If you liked our video, like, subscribe, and comment so that YouTube knows that this type of content helps people like you, and we can continue creating more similar videos in the future. If you don't know what to comment, simply write "Silence is power" to show that you have surpassed our session. In closing, remember these 5 brutal truths. Your comfort zone is your coffin. Expectation is the root of misery. Friends are not forever. Sacrifice is essential, and you are going to die. These truths are not meant to depress you. They are meant to free you, to wake you up to the reality of life so you can live more fully, more authentically, and more courageously. Now that you know the truth, what are you going to do with it? Let us know in the comments.